After the disastrous tour of Australia, West Indies were now scheduled to play the Indian cricket team on their home ground. The Indian team had a new captain, Bishan Singh Bedi, and they were first travelling to New Zealand for a 3-test series, and from there they were supposed to go to West Indies and play West Indies on their home ground. Now, India went to New Zealand and they won the first test match. Bedi was injured, so Gavaskar captained, and in his first match, India won that match. But India lost the third test match and drew the series and lost a great chance to win a series overseas. And from New Zealand, they travelled all the way to West Indies, and they had to play the first test match there within 2 days of landing there at Barbados. They obviously lost that match because the Indian team was not a great team as far as travelling was concerned, and their track record in the first test match of a series wasn't that great. The second test match of the series was at Trinidad, the Queen's Park Oval, which happened to be Gavaskar's favourite ground because Gavaskar in his debut series had scored 2 centuries in the same test match, one in each innings, and one of them was a double hundred. So when that match happened in Trinidad, Gavaskar promptly scored another 100, and the test match ended in a high scoring draw. The third test match of the series was scheduled to be held at Georgetown, Guyana, but because of flooding there, the match was shifted back to Trinidad. And West Indies decided to go into the test match playing 3 spinners and 2 fast bowlers. Andy Roberts was injured, so he was not playing in that test match. And India was, scheduled to be batting last on that pitch. So West Indies set a target of 403 runs in the 4th innings for the Indian team to win, hoping that they would be able to bowl out India for a score within the 402 lead that they had. But the Indian batting really came around this time. Gavaskar hitting another 100, Vishwanath hitting another 100, and Mohinder Amarnath at number 3 playing the sheet anchor. He in fact faced more than half the balls of what the entire Indian innings was, 440 balls he faced. And he scored 85 runs before he was run out. And finally, Brijesh Patel and Madan Nath came and took India to a victory. These matches in West Indies used to happen when it was evening time in India, and being a school-going kid, I was allowed to stay up only till a certain time. So I would follow the match till about a certain time, and then I would fall asleep, and I would know about the results of the match only in the next day. And I woke up next day with the news that Indian team had done the impossible. They had chased more than 400 runs in the 4th innings and won a test match. A world record score of 406 runs, which remained a world record for many years after that. And that was something very, very exciting as far as the Indian cricket lover was concerned. Of course, Clive Lloyd, the West Indian skipper, was completely livid with what happened, and he swore that he is not going to play with slow spinners as a part of his attack going forward. And that's when he brought in a 4-man pace attack for the next test match in Jamaica. A new fast bowler called Wayne Daniel was brought into the team. Roberts was still injured, and along with Holding and Julian and Holder, this was a 4-man pace attack that was playing for West Indies in the final test match of that series. And India were batting first. And they made a great start on a fast, bouncy pitch. And at the end of day 1, they had scored 178 runs for 1. And realizing that their bowling attack was proving to be ineffective in front of the Indian batting lineup, on day 2, the whole strategy of bowling was changed. The fast bowlers started bowling round the wicket, aimed at the bodies of the Indian batsmen, and the umpires also allowed the bodyline bowling to continue. Vishwanath broke his finger before he was out, but by the time he was out, he had already been hit on his hand and he had fractured his finger. Brijesh Patel, who was batting well, was hit on his face and had to retire hurt. And Indian opener Anshuman Gaikwad, who played a gutsy innings of 81 before he was hit behind his left ear, and he had to be hospitalized. So with two batsmen out retired hurt, Bishan Singh Bedi declared the Indian innings with 6 wickets down, and because he didn't want to expose himself and Chandrasekhar, who were not known for their batting, to the hostile bowling of the West Indians. West Indies took a slender lead of about 85 odd runs based on their first innings batting, and when it came to India's turn to bat, 3 batsmen were out injured, and Bishan Bedi declared the Indian innings at 97-5 with as many as 5 batsmen as absent hurt. 3 of them who had been hurt in the first innings, and he himself and Chandrasekhar saying that they were injured while they were fielding, and hence they decided not to bat. The West Indies had to just score 13 runs to win that test match, and they won that test match while having taken only 11 Indian wickets, and won that series 2-1. But Bedi's decision of declaring with 6 wickets down in the first innings and with 5 wickets down in the second innings was also his way of protesting against the bodyline bowling that the West Indian attack was doing. He lodged a protest also, the Indian board also lodged a protest, but nothing really came of it. But as far as the West Indies team was concerned, they had discovered a magic formula. And going forward, their whole attack was based on fast bowling, and because of that, they ruled the cricket world for the next 2 decades to come. Now, the term grovel was taken as a racist slur by the English captain, and it wasn't taken very kindly by the West Indian team.